Alrighty, today we're going to have a chat to Malia Gedde and possibly break some laws in the process. We already broke some laws getting the badge, but we're going to do some more right now. This place looks gorgeous. I'm not sure how I feel about the music in the background though.
The huge trees bear beards of Spanish moss. These trees have been here for 100 years. They're not going anywhere.
It's nothing a chainsaw can't solve.
Potted roses mark the entrance to the house. Gabriel didn't come here to mess with the plants. The Garden District is famous for its elaborate old plantation homes and mansions. This particular mansion is impeccably groomed. This is private property. Gabriel should stay near the front door till invited to do otherwise.
And I don't think we're going to get an invite to do anything else.
Perfectly groomed hedges run along the front of the porch. Gabriel didn't come here to...
Nothing else on this side?
Tall, narrow shutters provide beauty and protection. The windows are made of thick, heavy glass. The only thing Gabriel can see inside is even thicker drapery. It wouldn't be worth breaking into Malia's house.
You would go directly to jail and Mosley would not be able to help you.
The shutters are attached to the house. The Garden District is...
Alright, so we're not knocking on the door, we can go inside apparently. Surely not. There we go.
May I help you?
The man looks intellectual, polished, and impervious. He gazes at Gabriel with a superior eye. Gabriel wonders if he's Malia's secretary, bodyguard, butler, or something more personal.
Superior eye, huh? I mean, this guy's got money and we don't.
Better not try that. The man looks ready to whip up an army at the slightest notice.
Let's have a chat. Oh, wow. I mean, I've got to try him.
Encyclopedias? Go away.
Oh boy, we could be here a while. That was a bad choice, wasn't it?
May I help you?
Same thing.
I have a fine selection of magazine subscriptions for sale.
We do not welcome solicitors.
I'm trying to skip through it, but it's not allowing us. Okay, let's ask about Malia Gedde.
May I help you?
I'd like to see Malia Gedde, please.
I'm sorry, but unless you have an appointment or official business, I cannot announce you.
I'd really like to see Malia Gedde.
I told you that unless you have official business with Ms. Gedde, I cannot let you in.
I'd really like...
I told you.
Alright, so let's not push it.
I do have official business.
Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
I'd really like...
I told you.
I mean, I know what we have to do, but we can't do it from that menu. That's a bit weird. Alright, here we go.
My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business.
Really? How interesting. Wait here. I'll inform Ms. Gedde.
It's as simple as that.
Ms. Gedde will see you. Right this way. Ms. Gedde will be down shortly.
Thank you.
It looks so much more gaudy than the original.
What can I do for you, Detective?
You can just sit there and wait patiently while I look around this room.
Nice statue. I like it.
Thank you. It's The Rebellious Slave by Michelangelo.
It would be rude to take that now, but Gabriel makes a mental note about it for the prenuptial.
Jesus, Gabriel.
The only thing Gabriel wants to mess around with in his room is Malia herself.
Okay, there's going to be a lot of this.
Dante's Inferno. Nothing like a little light reading. Gabriel's already read that one. Roses and gardenias give the air a sweet taint.
No thank you.
The side table probably costs more than Gabriel's shop.
I can rearrange things once I move in.
The only thing Gabriel's likely to burn here is his bridges. Gabriel's hot enough.
It's rather warm in here, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry if you're uncomfortable. The fireplace doesn't really give off much heat without the stove insert, so I indulge myself, even in the summer.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's the fireplace anyway. Beautiful women. They must be relatives.
They are.
It would be rude to take...
Minor spoilers for the original. Maybe there's some of the people that we saw inside the tomb.
The only thing Gabriel wants...
Beautiful women.
They are.
Harvard classics. Homer, Virgil. Maybe Malia wouldn't be impressed by a signed copy of one of Gabriel's novels.
She wouldn't.
Gabriel's already read that one.
Modern art?
More or less. It's a Picasso.
The leather on the chair is as soft as butter. Gabriel's coat feels like rawhide in comparison.
Oh, that loop.
Genuine lion skin.
I can imagine doing things on that rug.
Excuse me?
Oh, nothing.
Looks like it's got a real head on the left-hand side as well. Okay, that's everything. Let's... wait a moment.
Ming Dynasty, perhaps?
Maybe, but we're not going to ask. Alright, let's face music.
Undoubtedly proof that there is a God. I'm trying
Trying what?
to reach the, truth.
Gabriel is trying to impress the girl, not make her gag.
Alright, let's do this.
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Miss Gedde?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
So I believe flirt with her pushes the conversation along immediately, and we get kicked out. So I'll ask everything else, and we'll finish with that.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Why would you want to know about that, Detective? It's rather silly, isn't it?
There's nothing silly about the voodoo murders.
But that voodoo is faked. That's what I've read in the papers.
That's what the papers say, all right.
But you're not convinced.
No, frankly, I'm not. The police department isn't known for its, imagination.
Oh? Well, I can see that your imagination is considerable.
Tell me about your life in New Orleans.
The Gedde family came to New Orleans in 1800. We worked very hard to get where we are. On the other hand, we've done a lot for this community.
I can believe that. You're doing a lot for me right now.
Come on, fellas.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about voodoo?
I really don't know much about it. Isn't there someplace in town that you can find out about that sort of thing? A museum or something?
I believe there is a museum.
Then maybe you should check there.
I believe we've also been there.
Tell me more about New Orleans.
I'm afraid I don't get out into New Orleans society much. Because of the Gedde money, we have slots in the best country clubs and on the best Mardi Gras courts. But I must admit I hate it. I avoid actually making an appearance unless it becomes absolutely necessary.
I know about those courts. They're very exclusive.
Yes, especially when it comes to people of my race. That's why we don't turn down the appointments. It's a rare opportunity to rub their noses in it. But that's not where I spend my time. I have more important things to do with my life.
That's admirable. Many women would love the chance to get caught up in that kind of life.
I'm not any kind of woman you might be familiar with.
Yes, I can see that.
No, that's foreshadowing, Gabriel.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I, detective.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm no expert. I don't fear them like most people do.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I believe it's some sort of local holiday, but I don't know much about it.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
I've heard of her, of course, but that's about it.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Caux means?
No, I don't. What does it mean, detective?
That's confidential information, ma'am.
So in other words, you don't know.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? I don't know what you mean.
Tell me about yourself.
I suppose I don't really have a choice. What do you want to know, detective?
What kind of things interest you?
I don't have a lot of free time, but I do appreciate the arts. Opera, symphony, ballet, fine art. If you look around, you'll see that we collect African art, for example.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
It is, detective. It means a great deal to me.
Do you have a career?
A career? Being the head of the Gedde family is a 24-hour-a-day job. We have many holdings and many responsibilities, financial and otherwise. The management of our business affairs and properties leaves me with time for little else.
Poor little rich girl?
Believe it or not, detective, wealth does have its price.
Tell me about your family.
The Geddes? We're a very private family.
How many people are there in your family?
Well, my mother just passed away.
Oh, I am sorry.
So am I. She was a magnificent woman. We were very close. I was an only child.
And your father?
I never knew him.
It's hard to believe that any man would leave a woman like you, or like your mother must have been.
He did not leave, detective. But that's really none of your concern.
I'm sorry. Go on.
There are, of course, other Geddes in the city. I have a large extended family.
I see.
Just thinking, if we were a real detective, we would already know this. So she should be calling us out right now.
Do you have a husband, boyfriend?
I'm very independent, detective. The women in my family have always preferred it that way.
So you've never been married?
No, and I never will be.
What about children?
Yes, that is likely. Someday.
No marriage but children? Okay.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a business degree from Vanderbilt. I wanted to study psychology, but my family's interests came first.
Oh, why not something like law, then? Surely that would have been an asset to the family.
Law? Please. I do have some morals, detective.
I'd like to hear...
For the record, I'm 28, detective.
I'd like...
I have few friends. A woman in my position can't really afford them.
I'd like...
I try to stay away from the media as much as possible. Last year there was that story about John Jr. and I. phone didn't stop ringing for weeks. I prefer to keep my private life private. I would appreciate it if you'd keep my name away from any public association with the police, Detective.
Of course.
John Jr.? Is that referring to Dr. John or someone else? Not sure. I do wish we knew what her mother's name was so we could check that later.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
As you wish, Detective.
But we're not going to get that information.
This is quite a place.
Thank you. It's been in the family a long time.
Done anything exciting lately?
I'm sorry, but I'm very busy. Can we get to the point?
Good response.
So what's new with you?
Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure, Detective.
Do you receive all your visitors in this library?
Usually. I feel more comfortable surrounded by things that I love.
So, you like books?
My books, my art, yes.
You know, we have a lot more in common than you might imagine.
I would love to chat about that sometime, Detective. But I'm really pressed at the moment.
Alright, so let's do it.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could. But I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake. And I do spend quite a bit of time out there.
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that brownish gold. It's so deep and rich. Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Gedde.
Then you must be truly exceptional at your job.
Here we go. No, if I do it once more, I think that's where we'll get kicked out.
I can't help noticing that you're in incredible shape, Miss Gedde. Your legs are so strong. Do you work out at one of the clubs by the lake?
Well, Detective, I do enjoy physical activity.
Oh, me too.
Actually, I was referring to swimming and modern dance. I can't say that I do much exercising at the lake, though.
Ah, well, it was worth asking.
I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Gedde.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other man said his name was Mosley.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
To get into your pants.
Well, I am researching the book, and I thought you might have seen or heard something at the lake.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police. I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out.
And yet one day later, spoilers,
Robert?
you'll be bonking each other.
Show Mr. Knight out, please.
Those eyebrows.
I most certainly will.
Thank you very much. I had a lovely time.
Slam the door.
Ah, shit.
Alright, what next? That might be it for day 2, or maybe I need to do some more research. I don't actually recall. We're not done with day 2. How's about we go back here and give Mosley his badge back right now? I don't think this is a waste of time. Right, can I teleport here? No. I've got to go through here and then through the door.
Hey, bud.
You!
Last time I looked.
Give me my badge, right now!
Oh, is that why you're so excited? If you knew what I needed it for, you...
I'm sure it was to impress a woman. You could have asked. Do you know how embarrassing it is to admit your badge was stolen? I had a photo with the chief, and he wanted me wearing it. I should lock you up, Knight.
I suppose you could. Seems to me, though, there was that time you borrowed my bike without mentioning it, right from in front of my shop.
Yeah, don't remind me. Just don't do it again.
These two people know each other way too well. Stealing motorcycles, stealing badges.
Can I ask you...
You're the right...
Right, we're not getting anything here. Oh, I think I might just have to go back to Grace now and have a chat to her about all of the other subjects that I've unlocked.
I'll let you get back to it.
Later, Knight.
Right, so I can go outside or I can just click the map icon down on the bottom right. Let's have a chat to Grace.
Hey, Grace, here I am.
Oh boy, party time.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
I think we can research Casino.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? Never heard of it. Must be a local custom. New Orleanians love to party.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Caux means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I'd rather not hear about your sex life, Knight.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Wasn't she a big voodoo queen before the Civil War?
That's right.
Well, you've just heard everything I know about her.
Good stuff.
Do you have messages for me?
Nope, none right now.
Alright, please research Casino.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I need you to look up a Madame Casino.
Madame Casino? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend Malia Gedde was?
Grace, Casino's at least 70.
Just a number.
As if that makes a difference to you. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Well, it's about closing time.
So it is. Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gabriel. And try not to dream, okay?
Same message as last night. It's Casino, not Casino. I would never get that right. I don't know if it's just me or whether it's different now that it's much later than 1993, but if I was a woman walking along the street like that, I would not feel safe. The nightmare again. We get something new. The dagger, the 3 snakes. That's a different image going into the bookstore. I think that might just be to save time. The audio clip's the same, but with the inclusion of the dagger, we need to get to the bookstore a bit faster. What does it all mean? Day 3. Drawn to the halls of learning, I sought there to conspire, but it was in the city of the dead that I found my heart's desire.
I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them. I also checked out Casino. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Great. Thanks.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Malia Gedde, or is it just too embarrassing? Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
All the stars out tonight.
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested. She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Meow, Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right, you should be jealous of Malia Gedde. As should every woman on this planet.
I just... never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.
Oh, just listen to her, Gabriel. She said at least two things in that sentence that were factually correct. The paper.
Times dated June 20th, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change your course before it's too late.
Lighten up.
That is an uninteresting front page. The French Quarter with a Spanish twist. The French Quarter, New Orleans' oldest and most famous neighborhood, is most known for the raucous party atmosphere of Mardi Gras. But the Quarter is far more than a week of beads and bourbon. Founded in 1718 by Jean-Baptiste Le Bion de Bienville, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, it was the original centre of the city. Despite its name, I mean, come on, it's 2013, you can't do that with your apostrophes. Jesus fuck. I'm so sorry. Much of the architecture is influenced by Spain after many of the more French-influenced structures were destroyed in the Great New Orleans Fire of 1788. And on the right-hand side, we've got the important part. Culture events for today. Noon. Don't miss today's public lecture at Tulane University on African religions. It will be given by Professor Hartridge of Tulane University. I'm depressed now. It hasn't been that long since I finished recording the first game, but I'm struggling to recall any apostrophe errors. And we've got one on the newspaper right here. Oh no. Why? Why me? Why am I obsessed over this?
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they are interrogating a suspect this morning, and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
I bet.
Do you have messages for me?
I've given everything to you.
Wolfgang has not called back. Alright. I'm trying to move up to the top of the screen there to find my inventory. Let's take a look at this, whatever it is, phone book page.
Somewhere there's a Norlands phone book missing one of its C pages.
Yeah, that's very much the same, isn't it? The Vet, C the World Travel Agency, and the 4 Casinos. At least they're all 555 this time. That makes things significantly easier. Once again, I'm looking up there for the interface. What's wrong with me? Let's start dialing some numbers.
Hi, Casanau residence.
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me.
Yeah?
A woman in the Dixieland drugstore dropped her purse today, and the name Casino was inside it.
Dixieland drugstore? Never heard of it. Sorry.
Well, that's one.
Casino residence, may I help you?
Hi, you've won a customer raffle at the Dixieland drugstore.
No soliciting, please.
Shot down immediately.
Hello?
Is this the Casino residence?
Yes. What can I do for you?
Do you or does anyone in your family patronize the Dixieland drugstore?
I'm a busy man. What are you selling?
Nothing.
Good. Goodbye.
We'll try the final number.
Hello?
Hello, I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. We have an order for you.
Castro, be quiet. Who is this?
I'm a friend of the owner.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
She really wants to keep that part of her life secret. We heard Castro's name though, and that's what matters. Alright, so let's call the vet.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Hello, Melissa. Do you know anything about Madame Casino?
Do you have a Madame Casino as a client?
Madame Casino? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks.
I think that's the same address. And that, kids, is why you don't put the names of your animals or your pets on social media. Husbands, wives, kids, that sort of thing. It's so easy to social engineer.
I'm out of here. Try not to sell out the store while I'm gone.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so where do we start? We can go check out the old lady, the troll. We can go to Mosley and have a chat to someone he's interrogating. Or we can go to the university. I think we'll start with Mosley. That should hopefully be a quick conversation. Oh, the drummer's out there. Interesting. Are those papers new?
Gabriel decides to give Mosley a break and not change the temperature again.
The papers are not new, and hopefully that's been put back to its standard setting.
Glad you made it. It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy anyway?
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. He's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning at Jackson Square pushing coke. He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders. Have you been present at the so-called voodoo rituals?
I don't know nothing. All right, I told you.
Come on now. You can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go.
Relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were in plain clothes.
Plain clothes? Like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. You tell me what I want to hear, and maybe I can get you into the witness protection program. But you gotta earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Oh, don't make me laugh. Oh, Jesus, just let me out of here.
Oh, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
Oh, by now they know I'm here. It's different when I'm supposed to come here. Oh, if I can send a message. Yeah, tell them I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's freaking useless. Just take him back to detaining, would you, Tony? I'll tell you, times like this, I'd kill for truth serum. Damn civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
Huh? Hell no. Damn, we can only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. You know, for the book, I mean. Hey, maybe you could punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction. That's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do.
His actions with the drummer in the original game now make a lot more sense.
Can I ask you about...
You're the right.
Sending a message saying that he was brought here by the cops, that he did not come here voluntarily. Alright, that was brief. Where do we want to go next? I'll leave Kazanu for later because she is a troll. Let's go to the uni.
It looks like the lecture is just starting.
Different view.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading, under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of these subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits, instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals. Some relate to specific tasks or places. Some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all these spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. One tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices. Animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Slow down.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. This is called being ridden. The human worshipper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Ezuli, the mistress of love, Papa Nebo, or Gedde, the lord of death, Awe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Houndfors. Their priests, Houngan or Bokors, their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a Voodoo Houndfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Poteau Meton. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves included the ritual gourd, or asan, the ritual knife, or kubasa.
That knife gives me the chills.
The ritual whip, or fouetcache, and the ritual coffin, or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mama Loa for specific magical rituals. The Mama Loa is the most powerful figure in any Voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mama Loa is the supreme woman. She goes out of her house at night, sees many things, and tries to get butterflies, and at night again she sees other things, including fireflies.
I hope we can read something about this again or listen to it again in the journal. I'll check that immediately after this. Cutscene?
Firelight. Gabriel?
What? Can't see.
Gabriel, get in.
Can't. It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel, hide!
Is that Wolfgang?
No! Let me out! Help!
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my god. Sorry.
How much did we sleep through? So there was definitely something said, I didn't get the pronunciation, but that totem pole was the center of the Houndfor. And I saw that in the original playthrough, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh my god, there's so much stuff here. I'm just trying to speed read all this, seeing if there's anything interesting. Yeah, okay, so the lecture. They talk about the Loa, or the Loa as they're now pronouncing it. That's interesting. This is actually out of order. He's invited me to sit in on an actual interrogation. No, hang on, never mind. That one was done before that one. Never mind. They can become possessed or possessen. Talks about the Loa names. The Houndfor. Yeah, that thing there, the Poteau Meton. I think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but that is a central pole that we saw at the end of the previous playthrough. There's a pattern on the ground called a veve. I still don't know how to pronounce that. And only the older sects still use the masks. And we hear about the ritual items, and this is what I particularly wanted to look for, because if that was a one and done, oh boy. Fortunately though, it's not. Alright, so I'm not sure if we're going to get to go into your office, although your office is on the left there. Let's have a look around.
A lighted sign says exit. Gabriel's in one of the lecture halls at Tulane University.
You're giving me PTSD flashbacks.
A projection screen dominates the front of the hall. The podium.
Sorry?
The podium. Hartridge's throne. There's a PA speaker on the wall. The door to Hartridge's office is locked.
That's it. Okay. Let's have a chat.
Dr. Hartridge is sharp-eyed and even sharper-tongued. When he condescends to look at Gabriel at all, it is with a dismissive glare.
Now I've got some interesting stuff for you, dude.
Are you a student?
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you've already interrupted and slept through my lecture, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
I need to chat to you about all of these subjects.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit to some interest. But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treat voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans.
Really?
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
The Catholic Church has always dominated in New Orleans, and its imagery, in turn, has dominated New Orleans voodoo.
What else can you tell?
If there's more you wish to know, perhaps you should read my books.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It's June 23rd, the feast day of St. John the Baptist. But June 23rd has been a sacred day since the earliest times. Ancient sun worshippers used to roll a flaming wheel down a hill to celebrate the sun's descent on that day.
A burning wheel. Huh.
Which we may or may not dream about very shortly. So St. John's Eve is in 3 days' time. He is the one who gives us that nuggets of information.
Do you know what Caprice and Corps means?
Caprice and Corps? Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
Nope.
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
Human sacrifice, brah.
What was that translation for Caprice and Corps again?
It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
What was that?
It's French.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
While I find the colloquial bastardizations of voodoo somewhat interesting, from a sheerly intellectual point of view, there's not a lot of relation between people like Laveau and true voodoo practices.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
But it's died out for all but the oldest sects.
Do you know anything about veves?
If you'd taken notes during my lecture, you wouldn't have to ask.
I took notes. It's in my journal.
Tell me about Damballa.
Damballa is one of the major Rada Loa, also known as Damballa Wado. He is an ancient Dahomean rain god, often represented as a large boa constrictor. Damballa is the most powerful and most violent of the Rada Loa. The Rada Loa are typically benevolent, as opposed, say, to the Patro Loa. He is still worshipped heavily in Haiti, and when voodoo first started in New Orleans, the early conclaves were reportedly based on the worship of the great zombie, the great serpent, Damballa.
We've heard that name before from Dr. John.
Tell me more about Damballa.
I have extensive courses in the Loa running next semester. Perhaps you should take one of those, Mr. Knight.
Nah, we'll probably be dead by then.
Tell me about Ogun Badagri.
Ogun Badagri is one of the Patro Loa. The Patro Loa are much more violent than the Rada Loa. Some people believe the Patro Loa originated in Haiti, but I have found some evidence that the Patro Loa were African as well, though worshipped only by a small voodoo tribe, and a very bloody one.
Tell me more about Ogun Badagri.
He is a chief nasty, Mr. Knight. He is the spirit of war and destruction.
Tell me about yourself.
All right, Mr. Knight. I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university, as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate was obtained at Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies. I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which isn't very often. Any other questions?
Oh, no.
Fine.
Why do you toss that last part in there? I get it's like, this is everything that you need to know about me, but that's just a little bit too much information, dude.
I'd really like to know more about you.
There have been several articles written about me, Mr. Knight, as well as blurbs on my book jackets. If you want a biography, read.
Your lecture was terrific.
Oh, you think so? You were snoring so loud I didn't think you'd heard it.
You must travel a lot.
Yes, to Africa mainly.
I'm very interested in voodoo myself right now.
How nice for you.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible, if that's what the gods demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Ezuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice, oh, where will we find one? Ezuli is the gentlest of Loire, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Houngan tremble before a possession by one of the more violent Loire, such as Papa Nebo. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that Loire will simply take it for themselves.
That was all very insightful, but teehee, you said cock.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
I wouldn't dwell on it. Most voodoo sects probably haven't seen a human sacrifice for several generations.
Fair enough. Alright, so I believe there's two things we can give you. The first, which I missed on the main playthrough, is the murder photo.
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is a serious voodoo ritual. Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph, except for the corpse, of course, but the wound, the face, and what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia, it reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand.
Really? Interesting. Thanks.
And we do get points for us. Is there anything else I can hand over before I give the Veve pattern? I want to say no. Also, did I ever do this?
Gabriel is carrying a scale he found near the crime scene at Lake Pontchartrain.
We'll need to do that later, I think. What about the voodoo code? Any interest?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No. I've never seen those symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless.
Really? Are you sure?
I'm never wrong, Mr. Knight. Therefore, sure is not in my vocabulary.
Psst. Arrogance much? Those will be very important later. Alright, so let's hand over the... I don't have it.
Okay, thanks.
Good day, Mr. Knight.
I completely forgot to go here and grab it. Also, I should have, instead of going to the map at the police station, I should have gone outside because we could have seen that drummer there. And I assume that drummer saw Crash go inside.
How's it going today? What? Oh, it's only you. Man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and, good luck.
Thanks again for that pattern.
No problem.
I think that's all we're going to get. Let's go back to the university and hand it over. He's still here.
The door to Hartridge's office is locked.
I assume we're going to get to go to the office on day whatever it is. Day 5, day 6, I'm not sure.
The artist's reconstruction of the voodoo murders pattern looks accurate to Gabriel. Something about it seems vaguely familiar and creepy.
How would you know it's accurate though?
The reconstructed Veve was done for Gabriel by a technical artist.
You've never seen this before, so you don't know if it's accurate or not. Alright, Mr. Hartridge. Why am I looking up there for the inventory? I've got no idea. What do you think about this Veve?
Can you tell me anything about this?
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back. Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating Veve. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself.
Have you heard of the voodoo murders?
No. You're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this Veve is authentic?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting. Tell you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm undercover. You can contact me at St. George's Bookshop in the quarter.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this, if you don't mind.
But he's not going to go to his office, he's just going to stand here.
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my lecture hall.
We get 2 more subjects.
Do you know anything about Veves?
I told you I would research it, Mr. Knight. When I have anything concrete, I'll let you know.
Tell me what you mean by black voodoo.
Well, like any religion, the beliefs can tend toward positive or negative ends, can be used for good or evil. Christianity, for example, has its doppelganger, Satanism. Anytime you attempt to set up an icon to explain evil, you invite some warped mind to worship it. The same is true of voodoo. There are those who are drawn by and desire personal power from the darker, bloodier Loa.
Can you give me an example of black voodoo?
You just did.
There is a very secret, very dark cult in Haiti called the Cult des Morts, Cult of the Dead. Their primary Loa is Papa Nebo, Loa of the cemetery. They practice a particularly disgusting form of necromancy.
Ugh.
Magic using the dead. They dig up corpses and use their decaying bodies for various spells and curses.
Charming.
Can you give me another example of black voodoo?
No, thank you.
In tribal Africa, there were and still are black bokors, shaman bent toward the dark, who not only practice necromancy, but also human sacrifice.
Yeah, we saw bits of that in the graphic novel.
Is there anything else you can tell me about black voodoo?
Only that if it's being practiced in this city, none of us are safe.
Fair enough. Alright, so I think I'll call it there for this video and this recording session. What we'll do next time is we'll check out Madame Casino. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then we need to go to the City of the Dead, which will no doubt be the cemetery. And we'll meet someone there. For now though, let me just go out to the map. I am still enjoying this game, but I can't tell if I'm enjoying it based on my knowledge of the previous game or not. I've got a feeling that this game is structured a bit better than the OG, given that on day one, we couldn't go to many places, and there's still a few places locked out, like we haven't got to Grandmother's house, we can't go to Magenta and Moonbeam's house until day 5, that sort of thing. I feel it's a bit better designed from that point of view. But so far, the puzzles have all been one-to-one, and I sort of know what I'm doing, so maybe that's helping as well. Alright, so that will do it for today. I will be back soon.
I'll see you later.
Goodbye.